Okay, guys, this is a break-even analysis topic. Now, break-even analysis, the uses of break-even analysis to find what is the exactly the break-even point. What is mean by break-even point? There is no profit or there is no loss. Exactly zero. No profit or loss. That is mean by break even. Break even means there's no profit, no loss. Exactly what is going to be the zero value. In other words, exactly zero. So why we need that? Because it's very important for a manufacturing line where when a company producing a product, definitely we don't want a loss. At least break even. Break even means zero. We want to get back our capital. That should be enough. Or we get profit. Nobody want loss. So we need to calculate how many units need to be sell in order to get uh, a break even. Okay. So if we sell more than the units, the break even units, then you will have a profit end of the day. But we are not going to sell below the break even units. That will result in loss. So we don't want that. So end of the day, we want to sell above break-even units so that we can achieve profit or exactly the break-even units. So we need to identify that. Definitely, all the companies wants profit or break-even. We don't want loss. So that's the use of break-even point or break-even analysis. So let's look at the formula that we have here. We got kind of plenty of formulas also. Okay, look at that. Number one, break-even point units. Fixed cost divided with contribution per unit. Number two, break-even value, fixed cost over CS ratio, or you can take break-even point units times with selling price. Number three, targeted sales units, fixed cost plus profit over contribution per unit. Targeted sales value, fixed cost plus profit over CS ratio, or targeted sales in units times the selling price. Number 5, MOS units. Okay, now what is MOS? Full form here. Margin of safety. Units. Basically, that's going to be sales units minus BEP units. 6, margin of safety value. Sales value minus BP value. So that's the main formulas. Then we have total cost, fixed cost plus the variable cost. Then we have fixed cost per unit, which is we take fixed cost divided with budgeted production. So this is basically units. To get a fixed cost per unit. Number 9, to get a fixed cost, that's a reverse of that basically, which is you take your fixed cost per unit times with budgeted production. 10, same thing, variable cost per unit variable cost divided with budgeted production units. Number 11, variable cost variable cost per unit times with budgeted production units. Number 12, contribution per unit is basically take your selling price minus all your variable costs per unit. 13, CS ratio is contribution per unit divided with the selling price. That will give you CS ratio. $14 profit statement. So you'll have a unit, then you have sales, less your variable costs. That will give you contribution, then less your fixed costs. That will give you net profit or loss. So that will be a profit statement if you do it in a statement format. You also can it be done by using formula, which is uh, using targeted sales units or targeted sales value. If you reverse the formula, if you want to find for profit, you can use the formula to find profit because the profit is there. So we can reverse the formula to find the profit. Okay, now, so this is the formulas. Okay, we got 13 formulas. With number 14 is with the statement. Okay, let's move on into uh, example. So example over here, I'm going to give you here. We have here 2015. I'll give you units 5,000. I'll give you direct material, direct labor, production overhead, rental, and a selling price. So we're going to give you 37,500 for this, 30,000, 50,000, and 15,000. Selling price is going to be 25. Now, so that's the information. Then the required is going to be A total variable cost per unit, total variable cost C, contribution per unit, the total contribution E total fixed cost per annum F CS ratio G break even point units and break even point value H profit or loss for 4,000 units I MOS units and MOS value and J sales value needed to be sold to achieve a profit of 9,000. Okay, so this is the required. Let's start the question now. Part A. Okay, so part A, the required is total variable cost per unit. Now let me explain what is, first of all, what is variable cost. If you look at it, there's a two type of cost here. One is the variable cost and another one is the fixed cost. A variable cost is the cost which is will change, will vary. That means it won't be the same every time. So whichever the costs are not the same, it comes under the variable cost. Fixed cost is basically for the whole year, it's going to be the same. Example of variable costs can be direct material. Material costs won't be the same every time because different material, different pricing. Okay, so sometimes they might give you a discount, so the material price will be different. You buy different. If you buy in bulk, the price will be different. You buy in a small quantity, the price will be different. So material price won't be the same every time. Labor is basically won't be the same every the salary of a person won't be the same. So direct labor, the cost won't be the same. Production overhead definitely won't be the same because the cost incurred in the production line is not fixed. Every time will be different cost. Rental, every month you're going to pay the same rental, so rental won't change. So for the whole year it will be fixed. Every month you're going to pay the same amount, so that comes under fixed. So basically you need to know which one is the variable and which one is the variable and which one is the fixed. So this is variable cost, this is variable cost, this is variable cost, this is fixed cost. So you have to know that, then only we can work out all the required. Okay, Now the first one, they were asking for um, total variable cost per unit. So therefore, what we need to do is basically uh, all this is already in total variable. That means in total, but they want in per unit. This is not in per unit. This is in total. Okay, all this is in total. Okay, total value in other words. So we need to get it for per unit. That means for 1 unit, how much the cost. So they already gave you a units here. Okay, they already gave you a units here. So we need to divide it with the units. So what we're gonna do here is for your part A. For your part A, for example, we're gonna calculate the variable cost per unit. So for direct material, okay, we're gonna do the working here. 37,500 divided with 5,000. So how much you gonna get? So you'll get 7.5. And then for direct labor, same thing, gonna take 30,000 divided with 5,000. How much you gonna get? So you're gonna 6. You'll get 6. Then we're gonna take production overhead. Put it in short form here, OH, overhead. So we're gonna take production overhead is 50,000 divided with 5,000. That will give us 10. So total up this, that will give you the total variable cost per unit, which is how much? 23.5. Are we okay so far? Are we okay, guys? So that will be total variable cost per unit 23.5. Now, next, B. B is they want total variable cost. So that's basically kind of an easy work here. So what we're gonna do, we already have a total of here. So just plus all the three values. 37,500 plus 30,000 plus 50,000. That will give you the total variable cost 117,500. Okay, so now next. C, contribution per unit. Contribution per unit is selling price minus variable cost per unit. So selling price is 25 minus variable cost per unit. We already calculated in your part A how much you get. That will give you 1.5. That is the contribution per unit. Okay, now the total contribution. Total contribution is basically you take your contribution per unit times with the unit. So you take 1.5 times with 5,000. That will give you the total, which is 7,500. Next will be part E. Now, your part E, total fixed cost. Now, total fixed cost, we only got one here, which is the rental. That's going to be easy. Our fixed cost is going to be 15,000. Let's say. So, but I just want to clarify with you guys now. Not always production overhead. Sometimes they might give you some notes in the exam question, so you have to be very careful. Not necessarily production overhead. Always will be variable cost, or maybe what we call that. Maybe they give you a distribution overhead, for example, some other overheads in the exam question, and then it's not always necessary it must be 100% variable cost. Sometimes they will give you some certain percentage that says that 20% is variable, balance 80% is fixed, so you have to do some adjustment over there. Okay, so this question is a very basic questions. When you look at the exam question, will be slightly different from the examples. So here I'm just gonna uh, do it. Just gonna show you how to do all the formulas in a very basic examples. Yeah. So this will be fixed cost. It's quite straightforward. Rental is gonna be fixed cost. Next will be F, the CS ratio. So CS ratio is contribution per unit divided with the selling price. Now we already have our contribution per unit, which is 1.5 divided with the selling price 25. How much you get? So you will get 0.06. That will be our CS ratio. So next required will be G, break-even point units and break-even point value. BEP units, which is cost over contribution per unit, where our fixed cost is 15,000 divided with the contribution per unit 1.5. We just calculated over there. That will give us 10,000 units. And then in the same required, we need to calculate the BEP value, don't forget, which is fixed cost divided with the CS ratio. Now, in this example, I'm going to do the both formulas, but in the exam, you just do it either one for the BEP value. BEP value got two formulas, or you can do it in this way as well. Or you take a break-even point units times with the selling price. SP is the selling price. I put it short form. So over here, you're going to take 15,000 divided with the CS ratio we just calculated on the F over here, part F 0.06. So 15,000 divided by 0.06, that will give you 215,000. That's a value. Or you can take, or you can take, or you can take the units that we calculated here, 10,000 units, break-in point units, times with the selling price 25. That also will give you 250,000. Okay, so in the exam you can choose either one depending on the information given in the examination. So we are done with the break-even point units and value. Let's go for the next one. The next required is uh, H, profit or loss for 4,000 units. Okay, let's start with that quiet now. Profit or loss for 4,000 units. Now, you can do it in the statement way, but I'm not really encouraging you to do it in a statement format because it will take a time in the exam. You don't have that much of time to do it in a statement format, so better to do in formula. Use the formula. Okay, so this is 4,000 units given. If you look at the question here, they ask what is the profit or loss for 4,000 units. Now we can use the formula uh, which is what we call that targeted sales formula. Okay, in each part, each we can use. We want to find the profit or loss. Okay, for 4,000 units, correct? Now we can use the formula and we reverse the formula. So what formula that we can use is targeted sales units formula, which is fixed cost plus profit divided with the contribution per unit, where this 4,000 units comes here as the answer. Okay, the units, this is basically the sales units. Okay, this is basically the sales units, so that comes over here as the answer. Fixed cost is 15,000 and we need to find this profit. I just put it as a P, and our contribution per unit is 1.5. Okay, now what we're going to do here is from the bottom, from the denominator, we're going to times. How much you're going to get? 1.5 times with 4,000, you will get 6,000, equivalent to 15,000 plus profit. Now when the profit goes here, when the P comes here, okay, remember you have to take 6,000 minus 15,000. Now what happens here is when you take, now this is contribution per unit. When you take contribution per unit times with the units over here, this will becomes contribution. That means total. And this is our fixed cost. What happens here? Contribution minus fixed cost. Our contribution is lesser, fixed cost is more, definitely. So therefore, it won't be a profit anymore. It will be a loss. Loss by how much? We will lose by 9,000. It is a loss. Are we okay? So if you put it in a statement format also, it will be you will get the same answer as well. Okay, but I'm not going to waste our time to do in a statement format. I always encourage you guys to do it uh, in a formula. You just have to reverse the formula. That will be the fastest way to do it. Unless you're really confused how to reverse the formula, then no choice. You have to do it in a statement format. Okay, so this is how you do it. Next, now in the next part is going to be MOS units and MOS value, which is margin of safety. So that's going to be actually easy. Okay, let's do the next part. Alright, MOS units. So MOS units is basically you take the sales units minus the break-even point units. So our original, yeah, you must go and take the original sales units, which is given in the question, 5,000. This is our sales units here. Remember, this is our sales units. Remember, that's original sales units. Okay, so that's 5,000, and we already calculated our break-even point units, which is over here, 10,000 units. So we're gonna take 5,000 units minus 10,000 units. That will give you uh, which is 5,000 units negative. Yeah. So that's basically margin of safety in negative. Yeah. Okay. Oops. MOS value next required, which is sales value minus break-even point value. So that's easy. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take 5,000 units times with the selling price. That will give you our sales value minus break-even point value is over here, which is 250,000. Definitely, it also will give us the negative value. Negative by 125. Or or you also can do it in a bit shortcut way, which is you can take MOS units times with the selling price, which also will give you the same answer. Here we got a negative answers, correct? Times with the selling price of 25, that also will give you negative 125,000. That's the idea here. Okay, but we don't really put it negative units. Okay, but I just want to tell you that the units are negative, uh, negative by 1000, but there's no units can be negative. It's just that it's lesser. We consider it's less. Okay, negative means the units are lesser here compared to the break-even units. That's the idea here. So next, um, our last required J sales value needed to be sold to achieve profit of 9,000. So this is basically again the but they want sales value like that. They want sales value, so therefore we need to use targeted sales value. Targeted sales value, which is fixed cost plus profit over CS ratio. Now, so what we're gonna do here is fixed cost is 15,000 plus the profit they are trying to mention here is how much is that? 9,000. So we're gonna put 9,000. Okay, 9,000. They have a CS ratio we get 0.06. We already calculated earlier. So how much is gonna be? So it's gonna be 400,000. So that will be our targeted sales value. So if this is profit, right? This is profit. Now, if in the question they give you loss, then you minus it out. Okay. If it is a loss, they give you a loss, then just minus it out. Then you find for the value, or you know, if they ask for units, then you use the units formula to find the answer. Okay. So that's it. So I just gonna show you extra one more thing here, where example in the required they ask for in the required I ask for sales value. If I change this into if I ask sales units, then it's the same thing. Now you have to use the targeted sales units formula, which is fixed cost plus profit divided with contribution per unit, where you take your 15,000 plus 9,000 again, but you divide it with 1.5. That will give you the answer. If they want it the unit sales unit, so 15,000 plus 9,000 divided by 1.5, that will give you 16,000 units. Okay, so if you take 16,000 units, uh, if you take this, like I told you, if they ask for units and they ask for value, you can use the shortcut, right? Or to find this value, you can do it this way. You take your targeted sales units times with the selling price, where you take 16,000 units times with 25. That will give also the 400,000. which is this answer. Okay, so that's it. We have done all the formulas. This is how you do all the break-even analysis formulas. Um, the exam questions we will discuss later. How we're going to do it. It will be slightly different between these. This is very basic examples how to do the formulas. Thank you. Bye bye.